What's up, YouTube? This is Yoke coming at you again. Sorry it's been so long since I've uploaded a video. College has just kind of gotten in the way, and just gonna get back into my videos and stuff like that. So, yeah, so today is gonna be a Satellarknight deck profile. I was planning on doing a Performage Brilliant Tellers, which was working for me pretty well, and I had just gotten it built and play tested a little bit, and it was doing really well. And then the adjusted list came around, so that kind of trashed that. And then I was playing around a little bit more with the deck with some other stuff, and that didn't quite work out. Like I ran for like the brilliant Performage tellers, I had run Wavering Eyes, and as well as the Performage Plush Fire on the side with a double damage juggler hat tricker, a single hat tricker, and a single trick clown in the main with the brilliant engine. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I can't do that for you, do the deck list for you now, because of the adjusted list, but adjusted and current ban list. And then I've been testing around, and this build that I've got here has been pretty good to me. I've done like a 4-1, 4 wins, 1 loss at my locals with this build, as well as going 2-2, and I've had some good days and some bad days with it. Most of them have been semi decent for about equal wins, equal losses most of the time. So, yeah, might as well, without further ado, I'll get into the main deck list. So to start things off, you obviously have to run the 3 copies of Altair, because Altair is your only real graveyard salvage other than your extra deck monsters. And then the 3 Denab for your search, one of your main searchers of the deck. And so yeah, you definitely need the 3 and 3 of the deck. And then this I run a 2 and 2 of Unical High and Vega. I find that some people, what they do is they run 2 Unical High, 1 Vega, or 3 Unical High, 1 Vega. I find that the 2 and 2 is just right. I've been thinking about running Rygal in this deck, but Rygal just doesn't kind of fit how I like to play the deck, so which is why it isn't in here. And so yeah, the 2 and 2, 3 and 3 seems to be working really well. And then that's it for the Satellarknight monsters that I run in the main deck. And then I run a brilliant engine in this deck, so I run the 1 copy of the Gem Knight Garnet for that engine. And then so that rounds off my monsters. And to go into the spells, to further explain on the brilliant engine, I run 3 Brilliant Fusion. Now, you may be asking, well, why 3 Brilliant Fusion? Wouldn't you run 1 or 2 Brilliant Fusions, not 3? Well, this is why. You don't want to draw into your Gem Knight Garnet. You want to see your Brilliant Fusion first. Now, with that being said, you always run the 3 to 1 ratio, and if you really don't like a 3 to 1 ratio, then you run 3 Brilliant Fusion, 2 Gem Knight Garnets. Now, this has been working really well for me, this ratio, the 3 and 1. And let's say you go Brilliant Fusion, and then you end up with 2 Brilliant Fusions in your hand. You Brilliant Fusion, sending Garnet and a Satellarknight monster to the grave, and then and then you special summon your Gem Knight Fusion monster. What you do is you use Brilliant Fusion's effect to ditch your second Brilliant Fusion to have your monster's attack go back to its original attack. So which is why it's kind of useful to have 3 in the deck. And then I run the 2 copies of Instant Fusion because Instant Fusion is amazing. I know Norton's at 1, but you always want to see your Instant Fusion like crazy. Plus, if you don't need your Instant Fusion, you can use Brilliant Fusion to discard it to so that your Gem Knight Fusion monster is able to have its attack increased back to its original attack value. Now I run 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. These 2 Typhoons would normally be Twin Twisters if I had them. Unfortunately, I don't right now. I'm going to try and get my hands on them. Might do an update later with Twin Twisters in it, but MSTs for now, Twin Twisters maybe later if I can get my hands on them. Then my next card is Red Geki. I much prefer this over Dark Hole. If you want to run Dark Hole instead of Red Geki because you can't afford a Red Geki or you just don't have one or whatever, Dark Hole is a good supplement, but Red Geki is definitely like the way to go. Then what I do for search power and to get the stuff that I need is 2 Skybridge, 1 Reinforcement of the Army. I don't overly like Skybridge, but Skybridge is there, puts out the work when you need it, but only if you got a monster. And Reinforcement of the Army, well, Reinforcement of the Army. Then to move on to my traps, I run 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance because we have Pendulums amongst other decks that love to run a lot of spells. So running Anti-Spell Fragrance is able to keep you out of being in a hard spot and to keep your opponent from getting too far ahead of you. I run 1 Bottomless Trap Hole because Bottomless Trap Hole. Then I run the playset of Call of the Haunted. You need this, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to run 3 because A, you got such a low monster count, and B, you want your effects to go off. I then run 2 copies of Fiendish Chain because it's continuous, and plus if this Fiendish Chain becomes dead because your opponent overlays or tributes their monster or whatever, you can always send it back to your hand by summoning Trevor and then being able to reuse it. Same goes with Call of the Haunted. Then I run 2 copies of regular Mirror Force. I want to make this into Quaking Mirror Force, but I just don't have them right now. It's the same thing with the Twin Twisters. I'm running this just until I'm able to get the Quaking Mirror Forces. Then I run 2 copies of Oasis of Dragon Souls. I like having Oasis of Dragon Souls because it's another Call of the Haunted, and you're able, the change from warrior to worm type doesn't really bother you too much, and like you just need the constant retrieval of monsters. Like there's and plus if you need to side something out, 1 Oasis of Dragon Souls or Call of the Haunted or something like that is an easy 1 side out or a 2 side out of. I run 1 Solemn Warning. I don't own Solemn Strikes, nor can I afford it right now. So the 1 Solemn Warning for me is just going to have to do. And then I run the playset of Satellarknight Alpha because Satellarknight Alpha is awesome. And you don't want to run any less than 3 because of this deck. And then for my last 2 traps, I run 1 Vanity's Emptiness and 1 Time Space Trap Hole. I run a second Time Space, but I just don't have the room in the deck right now. But I would highly suggest it if you figured out a way to fit a Time Space in. And Vanity's Emptiness, well, it's amazing to stun your opponent as long with the trap holes. That's it for my main. To go into my extra deck, I run 1 Satellarknight Constellar Diamond for those dark decks, like their PK Fire with the Burning Abyss engines running rampant, amongst other dark decks that may come up, which is why I run the 1 copy of Constellar Diamond. Then I run the standard 1 Deltaros, 2 Trevor, because you don't want to run any more or any less than the Deltaros and the Trevor that I got here, because you run out of Trevors, then you basically lose. You don't want to run the 3rd Trevor, because you will not be able to get the 3rd one. You will not need to get the 3rd one, nor will you be able to get the 3rd one out. I usually get 1 Deltaros, 1 Trevor, and win, or 2 Trevor and win, or whatever kind of thing. So you never need more than what I've got in the deck for Satellarknight monsters. To continue on with the extra deck, 1 Castel for obvious reasons. Spinning cards is amazing. 1 Daigusto Emerald for more XYZ plays if you want to special summon your Garnet from the graveyard, or to recycle monster resources if you need to. It's there for as the dual purpose, which is always great. Diamond Direwolf for spot removal. Like, there's been many times where I didn't know what the back row was, and it was making me nervous. So I was like, normal summon Vega or Altair, effect to special summon another Satellarknight monster, and then I'd overlay for Diamond Direwolf, and then it's either they use the effect they either use it to get rid of Diamond Direwolf, or they let me destroy it. So it's like kind of one or the other kind of thing. Then to continue with the extra deck, I have 1 Elder Entity Norden, for obvious reasons, your XYZ plays, and then Cowboy for game. Always got to go for have that at least 1 Cowboy. Gem Knight, Satellarknight allows you that extra normal summon. There's been countless times where I've won games because I was able to normal summon a second time from Gem Knight Satellarknight. Then I run the 1 copy of number 86. Won many games with this card. I only ever go into this if I'm able to get 4 or 5 materials on it. I've beaten Cosmos, Pepe, Draco Pell, all that kind of stuff by slapping this down with 5 materials, and just uses the fact, whiteboard, attack directly for 3k. They can't special and normal summon. Then I'm able to attack. If they're unable to set a monster or whatever, I'm able to attack directly again, because they can't normal or special. And then it's unaffected by spells and traps and other card effects and stuff like that. So this is just like an amazing card to have in the extra deck when you're able to use it. I run 101 because sometimes 101 and having your opponent's monster in that limbo zone instead of back in the deck or in the graveyard, this is sometimes better than sometimes not having it in the graveyard or back in the deck is just like your optimal like play, which is why I run the 101. 1 copy of Starliege Paladynamo because he is a floater. He allows you to draw when he goes to the graveyard, and as well, he allows you to put out 2k damage if you're trying to push for game as well. Then I run 1 copy of the Thousand Eyes Restrict for spot removal, for like monster spot removal. Yes, I know it targets, so it doesn't work on Cosmo, but there's a bunch of other situations that if you need to remove something, Thousand Eyes Restrict is there for you. Then for my trap holes, I have Rafflesia. I've made people struggle with having this on board, so you always, if you're running trap hole cards, you always want to run Rafflesia. And that's it for my extra deck. To go in the side deck, I made the side deck as if I was going to go to a regionals or something like that. So what I'm going to be playing, or what I am playing, is I play double Effect Veiler, because Effect Veiler can come in really powerful at times. It can be quite clutch and for you if you need to get rid of something. And then obviously the playset of Maxi. This is just for PK Fire and Performapal, whatever mixture they're going into now, and Burning Abyss, amongst other stuff that's just rampant on the special summoning. And then I run a single copy of Thunder King. This is for going against rogue decks, as well as going up against PK Fire, because they XYZ quite a bit. And plus you've got your Call of the Haunteds and Oasis of Dragon Souls to continually bring it back. Then for the traps in my side, I don't run any spells in my side, as I play a playset of Imperial Iron Wall on the basis of that Cosmos are running rampant, and being that with the new support from them coming out, they're going to be quite powerful. So Imperial Iron Wall is a good card to choose, along with Soul Drain. So when I go up against Cosmos, I play the Imperial Iron Walls and the Soul Drain on the basis of preventing them to banish, and if they get rid of Imperial Iron Wall, I got Soul Drains that they cannot activate their effects in the graveyard or in the banish zone. Then I run the 3 copies of Mask of Restrict, because freaking Monarchs, you just gotta run the 3 Mask of Restricts, because this is how you defend yourself against Monarchs. And then for last but not least, the double Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This is for specifically PK Fire and any other dark deck that may come up that you might be playing against. Other than that, like I don't really have a need for the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror in there, but PK Fire is definitely a serious threat. But anyways, that's my deck. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe to show your support. And I would really I'll see you guys, I guess, during my next video. Thanks guys for watching.